What's up, guys? It's Rich Duper Bash, and I'm here just for a quick garage tip I wanted to share with you guys. I found, so I got my Proline Pro MT 4x4, a little squeaky right now. I just changed the shock oil. I still need to tune this thing up a little bit more. I'm going to try running 70 in the front and 80 in the back. So in any case, I've been loving this truck. It's got, you know, a couple weak spots. Definitely want to run some hex extenders on here just to get your wheels out a little bit wider. But in any case, just to stay focused here, I became like really concerned about all the slop in my steering. This is actually a big improvement right here. So what I came up with last night, I broke down the entire steering assembly. I pulled the front end of the truck off just to get access. And what I found was the steering plate was straight. What I thought, I thought the problem was just slop between the bolts and the steering plate itself. Well, it turns out, and this has been going on for a while, I almost actually swapped servos. I thought my servo was just underperforming. This is what's left, little bits of pieces of metal. There's these two little bearings, both of them are destroyed, that basically sit in the steering plate. You got one on each side, that where the steering posts attach. I'm sorry, not the steering post, but where your steering rack attaches. So these are brand new bearings right here that I had spares, right? So what the problem I'm seeing here, and I think Proline had a good idea with trying to do a, you know, instead of just a spacer, trying to do a bearing. The problem is they're just too small. These bearings are super thin, very tiny. I mean, the balls in there must just be like microscopic. But I got two issues with this. One is when you slide this guy, it slides right on the bolt, and then your steering plate just basically, this sits in your steering plate. It's got a little bit of a lip on it, so that the steering plate doesn't just fall off the bottom. But what you'll notice is there's all kinds of slop. I mean, this fit is nowhere near a nice snug fit. So you have slop right there. So long story short, what I did, guys, was this is my mod I came up with last night. What you need is, now these are the stock bolts. These two are 3 by 22 millimeter, right? So what I did, and I just used stuff I had on hand. What you need is a couple aluminum, 3M aluminum spacers. I believe these are 4M. My micrometer or my measuring tool isn't that accurate, but I'm coming up with about 4 millimeters on these. You'll see these are taller than the bearing, right? So what you're going to do is get another steering plate. I happen to have a spare because a lot of this stuff is sold in kit bags when you need a certain part. So what you need is two of these guys, 2 aluminum spacers. You're going to need an extra steering plate because essentially what you're going to do is you're going to stack them. So you need a little bit longer bolt. This is a 25 millimeter, and I'm going to try the button head instead of, I'm drawing a blank right now, but basically you want to have the little bit smaller head on here for clearance purposes. You're going to put a 3M washer on. You're going to put your spacer, your aluminum spacer on, okay? Then what you'll find is if you put an extra steering plate right over this, it's a very snug fit. This guy doesn't wobble around nearly as much as the bearing does on the bolt. It's almost a perfect fit for the steering plate. I put a little bit of oil in here just to kind of lube it up. But when you double stack, when you put an extra steering plate on here, once the plate's on, you're going to put one more thin 3M washer on top. And then you're going to attach it to both sides here. In any case, I'll try and get you guys a better shot of it, but what you have here is, I probably should have pulled my wheels off, but basically I wanted to show you guys there is way less slop in here, and I have my servo saver pretty loose, but I'm thrilled. Before, when I would grab the steering, when I grabbed this steering link, this thing would flop all over the place. So here's the action you have now. There's really no slop in here whatsoever. I mean, maybe just a tiny bit, but I don't know if you guys can make that out or not. So that's what it looks like from the side with with 2 steering plates stacked on top of each other. Super close up of basically having bolt steering plates stacked on top of each other. Again, it's the bolt, 3M washer, bolt steering plates, plus the spacer, 4mm 3M spacer, another small washer, then it goes right onto the bell crank. So anyway, that's about as good of a shot as I'm going to get on it, but it's really, really solid. Anyway, I'm super curious to see how this thing will perform like this. Hopefully those little washers are thick enough. I really don't think they're going to have a whole lot of tension on them. So, alright guys, well I hope you find this helpful. I'm definitely going to give this a good bash run and see how it performs. Again, I've got a 70 in the front and 80 in the rear, so it's basically double what the truck comes with. Well, it's a little bouncier, I think, guys, but still better so far, I think. Yeah, definitely a lot less after bounce. Ooh. What a little wild animal. Ooh, back in the brush. It's just, it's so light. Alright guys, well, I had another awesome time with this little guy. Just an absolute little beast. Again, I'm running 18 tooth 4S BLX 185 combo, but I gotta say I am liking the heavier shock oil, the 80 in the back and the 70 in the front. And I'm definitely really happy with the steering. I mean, this took a lot of the slop out. So I'll go ahead and post some pictures and a little more detail, both in the description and then also on the RCTech forum. So, all right, guys, I'm out of here. Until next time, late. Ooh. NGD didn't see that one.